Hi guys, I'm Ellie Rose, and today I'm going to be taking the last sentence of tons of books I read in lockdown, putting them all together, making a story. So, let's do this. Okay, so I've got 8 books here, which means 8 last sentences. How I thought this should work is I'd go to the back of each book, write down the last sentence, repeat it for all the books, and then write it and see what we come up with. Okay, so now I just went through each book and wrote down the last sentence. Alright, I am finished. Now I'm going to go put them all into write them up. Okay, mine the vegan Subway. It was actually my first time having a Subway, so very yummy. So what I was doing now was basically just writing up all the sentences and trying to find links and just like a coherent story that would actually make sense and wouldn't just be like gibberish. So yeah, that was actually quite hard. And I have finally used all 8 sentences in my story. I just finished. That was really, really time consuming, but it was really fun. Okay, let's read it and let's see how it is. I don't know if it's that good, to be honest. I saw her. I start to yell. I saw her. Evie doesn't believe me. She keeps insisting, where? Liar, how could you see her? Why couldn't I? Are you positive it was her anyway? Which I was. I knew her limp from a mile away. They would do this every night. They had once actually been successful, but were too busy arguing over the price of a train ticket back. So they missed her. They were certain they would be victorious tonight, since they were more equipped. And by that, I mean some weak attempt of a strangling device. Grandma had specified the myth at least twice that day. She is out between 5 and 8. You won't catch her before or after. When she is coming, it will sound like 1 foot. She limps. She looks very young, but remember, she's lived forever. She knows the way we work. She's smart. So, to no surprise, when his phone started ringing, he was expecting a repetition of these rules, which he's understood since he was little. Hey, Grandma, now isn't the best time. We think we see her, and we just need absolute silence. But just as he was putting the phone down, Wait, what bag is on your back? The grey one, he said, baffled and rather suspicious. Why? Is that a problem, Grandma? No response. Hello? Darling, I'm so sorry. Grandma, what are you talking about? And at that very moment, both of them heard slow approaching sniffles. It was so close. He heard each nostril unweb itself from the nose. He looked over at Evie with pace and she cautiously nodded. He took his bag off and knelt on the damp soil. After rummaging for a few moments, a Tupperware of stale raisin cookies were found buried under compasses and maps. Grandma forgot to take them out, he uttered with shaky mouth movement. He lifted his phone up to hear, to which he heard his grandma talking. No, not talking, laughing, chattering. But not to him, to someone else in the room. Dear, is it cold there tonight? She is heard saying. What is she saying? The younger sister says. But he's silent. He's static. He says something isn't right. Grandma isn't right. Grandma, we need to leave. We had food on us, in the grey bag, and she'll smell it, he exclaims. I can't hear you, sweetheart. Come get me. A little louder. Come and get me, I said. The sister, puzzled as to why her brother isn't encouraging collection for both of them, begins to worry, freak out, panic, cries over the concept of isolation and abandonment. I'm not going to leave you. I promise, I just don't want to involve you in this. Grandma isn't Grandma right now, so just follow me. He grabs her wrist. She winces and marches towards the clearest path out. Not an easy task. Eventually they emerge from the trees. Not as grateful as it sounds. Mud on faces, shoes untied, mouths parted like sweating dogs. They see cars and bustle and decide to begin on their journey home, which, to say the least, is going to be a long one. What did she sound like? Was it one of those Darth Vader horror story grandmas? Evie, you're being stupid. She sounded... what? What did my grandma sound like? And why did we have to leave? He was resisting letting her in on the dark truth their family was built on. To be honest, he was surprised his younger sister had never questioned why Grandma wanted to be young again and why this immortal, mystical creature in the woods could provide that. She sounded like something was next to her. Like she was speaking to someone, maybe. Silence. She asked someone if it was cold tonight, like they were outside. It took him a brief instant, but he soon realised. Grandma was young again. They were successful. They had never actually considered what would happen once they were successful, but this was it. They completed the long-ridden quest, so why was he still scared? Why did he know going home right now was the most dangerous places of them all? Okay, Evie, I'm going to go in first, alright? Okay, alright then, stay here. He crept into the house and frequently scanned his surroundings. In the kitchen he saw one crippled old lady and a surprisingly beautiful young woman. Grandma. He summoned Evie in, almost in hysterical laughter at the astonishment of their success. We did it! You're a young woman! Young! Their grandma rose from her chair and sprinted towards the siblings. Before they had time to leap backwards, she had both her eloquent, dainty hands wrapped around each of their necks, like chickens ready for the slaughterhouse. He managed to grab the curtain from the main pocket of his bag and began to choke his grandma, the embroidered roses complementing her freckled neck. He began laughing again. This time tears began to make their way down his face. The grandma can't carry her weight, it seems, and her legs give in and fold into one another, whilst falling to the kitchen floor. As they stare guilty and dumbfolded, the curtains fall. When her skull hits the ground, he lets out a heavy, triumphant sigh, almost comic. I can't believe it. This is the youngest we've ever felt. The younger sister is standing there behind him, soothing her own throat with her hands as tears stream down her face. Numb. The older woman nonchalantly limps into the kitchen, as if she had experienced this before. She stands behind Evie and looks at him. His elation fades and an apprehensive sadness blurs his vision. The older woman curls her fingers slowly around the younger sister's undeveloped neck and clenches. That was the last thing he ever saw. I hope you guys found that somewhat relaxing or nice to listen to. For me, it was really interesting to do because they were all such different books. It was just really cool that you find like one common ground. So yeah, I really enjoyed doing that. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe. And yeah, I'll speak to you guys soon. Bye.